welcome. Here's your HMH lesson for today. We are going to be reading Experiment with What a Plant Needs to Grow. You need to take out your HMH books. This is in your HMH book, page 124. You do not need your reading packet for this one, okay? So we're going to get ready to read Experiment with What a Plant Needs to Grow. This is an informational text. The genre, guys, whenever you get a question that says, what's the genre? It says it word for word. It says it right there, genre study, and it has it in bold. What is the genre? It's a what? Informational text is nonfiction. So it's an informational text, which means it's nonfiction. It gives facts about a topic. As you read Experiment with a Plant Needs to Grow, pay attention to photos and labels, order of events, cause and effect, in ways that pictures and words help readers understand the text. As we are reading this, we are going to evaluate what's important. So as we read, we're going to evaluate or come up with what's the most important thing. Think about the author's words as you read. Then evaluate or decide what's important and what is not. Okay? Before we read this word, let's go over some important vocabulary words. Let's start with the word minerals. So if we look here, that's your writing, sorry. Minerals, this is a picture of minerals. Minerals are natural substances that do not come from plants or animals. So minerals do not come from plants or animals. There are a variety of minerals that can be found in nature. So these crystals are minerals. Fuels. The woman is filling gas in her car. A gas is fuels. Something that fuels another gives it power. Okay, if it gives it power, it fuels it. Gasoline fuels most cars. That means it gives most cars power. Recently, we have electric cars, and the electricity gives these cars power, or fuels these cars with power. Process. So here, there's a process going on. What is this process called? The plant growing, right? A process is a series or steps that happens in order. We learned about the process by which plants make their own food. So here, the plant is making its own food through the energy from the sun and the H2O, or the water that you feed the plant with. All right, so a process is a series or steps that happens in order. What is the process of what we do before we go to bed sometimes? Who can raise their hand? Just tell me the basic. What's the last 3 things we do before we go to sleep? Most of us, or the process. Yes. Brush our teeth. What's another one, Leah? Wear our pajamas. And what's another, Amariah? Maybe some people eat dinner, some people take a shower. Maybe the third process is sleep, right? Most people brush their teeth, wear their pajamas, and the third process is sleep, lay down. Okay. I know, I'm just talking about overall, okay? Process, so that's the process. Okay, provides is the next one. In this picture, the outdoor market provides fresh vegetables in the summer. So to provide means to give something that is needed. So people need these vegetables, right? So they provide them with the vegetables, things that they need. Sprout. Oh, look, the little plant has sprouted out of the ground. Sprout. We are excited to see plants sprout in the garden. When plants sprout, that means they begin to grow. So the plant finally sprouted out of the ground, so it started to grow. Moisten. She looks like she's moistening the sponge before she washes. Moistened. Mom will moisten the sponge to clean the table. When you moisten something, you make it a little wet. You wet it a little. She's moistening the sponge. Well, that doesn't look like it's wet a little. It looks like it's wet a lot. But usually after you wet a sponge, do you just go wipe whatever you're going to wipe with? No, you first do what? Squeeze it out, and it becomes very good. So all the water comes out, so it's not soaking wet. Instead, it's moistened. Seedling. What is a seedling? Destin? It's a young plant. Seedlings are young plants that grow from seeds. So this young plant is growing from a seed, so it's a seedling. So in time, small oak seedlings like this one can grow into a mighty oak tree. All right, I think that was, oh no, this is the last one, spiky. This cactus is spiky. Something spiky has sharp points. It might hurt if you touch a spiky cactus plant because it has sharp points, right? What else is spiky? Who can tell me something else that's spiky? Amariah? Needles are spiky. Very good. Haney? Nails are spiky. Rena? The what? What is that? Needles are spiky. Okay. Thorns are spiky. What else, Christian? Sometimes teeth can, like maybe shark teeth are spiky. Very good. All right. Let's keep going. Very good. Good job. We're going to prepare to read experiment with a plant that needs, what a plant needs to grow. So this is Nadia Higgins. She is the author of the story. Let's listen.
Do you like books about science? If you do, then Nadia Higgins is writing for readers like you. Nadia Higgins has written over 60 books for kids. Her favorite part of writing is learning new and exciting information. She likes to include fun and unusual facts in her books. Miss Higgins has written about cute but deadly animals and foods that came about by accident.
Okay. So, real quickly, what do you guys think the story is going to be about? Yes, Jasmine? About plants and what they need to grow.
Experiment with what a plant needs to grow. By
Very good. All right, let's start reading.
What are plants? Plants are living things. They grow. They reproduce. Like you, plants need air and water. They need minerals to stay healthy. They also need food. For a plant, food starts with sunlight. Sunlight fuels photosynthesis. This is a process in which green leaves make food using air and water. With enough sunlight and water, flowering plants will bloom. Plants give us food, wood, and medicine. Photosynthesis provides the oxygen we need to breathe.
So, here, this is a text feature. There's a picture, and it tells us what the picture is about. This is called a caption, right? And there's a caption to the girl planting the flowers. So, the title of the text is What Are Plants? Experiment with what a plant needs to grow. It gives information about the topic. The author is going to give information about what a plant needs to grow. As I read, I will look for important details that give information about the topic. On this page, I read that plants are living things that need air and water. This is an important detail because it gives information about what plants need to grow. As I continue to read, I'll think about the author's words and decide if they give information about what a plant needs to grow. So far, they said that a plant needs what? Oxygen, air, sunlight, and water. Very good. So those are what's important here. All right, let's keep going.
Can seeds get too much water? Water helps a plant stay strong and sturdy. But even before a plant shoots out of the ground, its seeds need water to sprout. Can Can seeds get too much water? Let's find out. What you need: 3 small bowls, water, 6 cotton balls, handful of grass seeds, pencil and paper.
All right, let's see.
Plants die if they don't get enough water.
Okay, what happens if plants don't get enough water? They die. They just said that. Very good. They die. All right, let's see it. Let's do this experiment, or read about the experiment and see what happens. Do you think plants will die if they get too much water? No? Yes? Some say yes, some say no. Let's see.
Steps. 1. Start by putting 2 cotton balls in each of the bowls. 2. Next, fill the first bowl so the cotton balls are covered with water. Moisten the second bowl's cotton balls all the way through. Don't add any water to the third bowl. 3. Sprinkle about a dozen seeds on top of the cotton balls in each bowl. Label the bowls so you remember which is which.
All right. What does the caption explain? What is a caption again? Good. They're the text. They're the words that are underneath the picture. So what does the caption here explain? Label the bowl so you remember which is which. Okay? So why is that important? Because it tells us how important it is to label each one so we know which one is which. Do you think this information is important for understanding how plants need to grow? Is that important? Yes. It's important to do that when you're doing the experiment.
4. Put the cotton balls in a sunny place. 5. Check the bowls every day. Make sure the first 2 cotton balls stay covered in water. Make sure the second 2 stay moist. After a few days, some seeds will sprout. Keep checking your seedlings for a week. Which sprouts are the tallest and sturdiest?
What do you guys think? Will it grow if it's very wet? Let's see.
Think it through. A seed has a coat that protects it. Water softens the coat so the seed can sprout. But seeds also need air. Too much water can keep a seed from getting enough air. Horse chestnuts have spiky seed coats to protect their seeds. Now try this. Plants need minerals to be healthy. Most plants get minerals from the soil. Predict how long your grass can survive without soil. Watch the grass sprouts to see if you were right. Be sure to write down your prediction before you start experimenting. How to lead.
Which section on this page gives details that answers the question? Can seedlings get too much water? Right here where it says what? It says think it through, right? A seed has a coat that protects it. Water softens the coat so the seed can sprout, but seeds also need air. Too much water can keep a seed from getting enough water. What does the author explain? The author explains that seeds need water and air to grow. If it gets too much water, it can keep it from getting enough air. So if you give it too much water, then you can drown it and it's not getting enough air. All right, let's keep reading.
Leaves get air. We just saw that seeds need air to sprout. Roots need air too. Air is also part of photosynthesis. As they make food, green leaves take air in and let it out. Let's find out how.
So if you're planting, yesterday I bought some lavender over the weekend on Saturday, and I planted it in front of my house yesterday. I dug a hole in the garden bed, and I put the lavender in there, and I bought some special soil for it, and I put it in there. Well, I made a mistake. What I did was I patted it too hard around the plant to where I didn't let the soil be free to where air can come in. So my husband came and he's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm planting lavender. He's like, you don't know what you're doing. I'm like, why? He's like, you can't pat it down so hardly. You have to let it be, you have to like sprinkle it. You sprinkle the soil on top. Like after you put the plant in the ground, you sprinkle soil on top. You don't pat it too hard. Because if you do, then you won't let air go in there, right? And it needs to breathe. It's part of the plant growing. All right, let's keep going.
What you need: petroleum jelly, masking tape, leafy green plant, camera. You can easily poke your finger into good garden soil. The loose soil holds lots of tiny spaces. Those air-filled spaces keep roots healthy.
See, so if you can stick your finger in there, then that's good, that's healthy. But
Think it through.
If you can't, it's too hard, that means you patted it down too much. So, in the main text, the author explains more about air and why it is part of photosynthesis. These details help me understand the purpose of the experiment to show how leaves help plants grow by taking air in and letting it out. The caption also has some interesting information about how air-filled spaces in soil keeps roots healthy. But this experiment is about leaves and air, not roots and soil, so I don't think these are important details I need to remember.
Steps. 1. Spread a heavy coat of petroleum jelly over the tops of 5 leaves of your plant. 2. Do the same on the undersides of 5 other leaves. 3. Put your plant in a sunny window, then take its picture. 4. Observe your plant every day for the next week. Mark the tops of the coated leaves with tape so you can easily find them again.
Okay, why would the directions say to take a picture of the plant? Why, Leia? Very good. So you remember how it looks, so you can compare the way the plant looks at the end and how it looked at the beginning and see how much has changed, right? Because if you just look at it and go away, you can't really see a big difference, right? But if you take a picture of before and then after, you could see a bigger difference. What do you predict will happen? Do you think the leaves of the petroleum jelly will live or die? Die? Live? All right, let's see.
Compare what you see to the photo you took on the first day. How are the leaves different from your photo?
How are they different? Look in the first day. Here on this side, it's the first day, and here is the last day. So what happened? Did they live or die? They died. Look how it turned yellow. That means they died. So the leaves of the petroleum jelly died.
True. Petroleum jelly kept some of the leaves from letting air in and out. Those leaves started to wilt. The leaves that were coated on the bottom wilted the most.
What is the cause of the leaves starting to wilt? Why did the leaves start to wilt? Good, because the petroleum jelly prevented it from getting enough air, which led to the plant dying. Very good. All right, let's keep going. Good job. These are very interesting experiments.
Measure like a scientist. Measuring helps scientists show exactly what is happening. Let's look at some ways you might use measuring in a plant experiment. Measurement. Test. Tool. Unit metric. Measurement. Weight. Test. Weigh 2 seeds. Is one heavier? Tool. Scale. Unit metric. Ounces, grams. Measurement. Length. Test.
Okay, I think I can read this part. Why is the information in the chart helpful? What does it show us? It shows how we can use measuring in a plant experiment. So basically on this side here, it says the measurement. So here they're measuring the weight, the length, the time, and the volume. And then here it's talking about what the test is, the tool they used, and the unit they used. Okay, because you use different units depending on how you measure. So It says measuring the weight, they used a scale and they weighed it by ounces. Okay, they didn't weigh it by pounds, but by ounces. So which way two seeds is one heavier? Obviously, seeds are very light. That's why they did it. They did a unit that's smaller than pounds, which is ounces. And then they did length. Measure a bean seedling in the morning, then measure it the next day. Did it grow? You need a ruler. And then time, track how many days it takes for a plant to bloom. You're going to need a calendar, and you're measuring each day. And then the volume, measure how much water you are adding to a pot. You use the measuring cup, and you measure by cups or milliliters. Okay, so so let's see, choose what experiment you read. Tell how you might use the chart to help you use the experiment. Yeah, let's talk about it. Let's talk about if you were to plant something out in the garden like I did yesterday with my lavender plant. What's a way I can measure that plant and see if it's growing or not? Yes, Miss Rena? I can take pictures of the first day and the last day and maybe need a calendar. Okay, what's another way? Amariah? Good, I can use a ruler to measure how big it's getting or if it's growing. Leah? Huh? Okay, maybe I can do it by writing down what I saw, but am I measuring the weight, length, time, or volume? What am I looking at? Am I looking at the weight of it, the length? Okay, maybe we narrow that down a little bit. All right, let's keep going. Let's look at the next page, 135. In your reading notebooks, you are going to answer these 3 questions. Use details from experiment with what a plant needs to grow to answer the questions. So you're going to answer these questions on your own. You can use your book to help you. Question number 1, you're doing this in your reading notebook. Are you doing this in your writing notebook? No. Are we doing this in our word work notebook? No. Are we doing this in our math notebook? No. You're doing this in your reading notebook. At the top of the reading notebook, you're going to write the title, which is Plants Need to Grow. Experiment with what plants need to grow. And then you're going to answer the questions. Question number 1, evaluate. What are the most important facts in experiment with what a plant needs to grow? What are some important facts we learned? Write 2 down at least. Look for clues in the story and photos to help you decide. So look in the photos. Write down 2 facts that you learned. Very easy. Number 2, how do the captions and labels on page 128 and 129 help you understand? Go back to page 128 and 129 and tell me, what do you understand by those captions? Captions are the words that are underneath the picture. What is it telling you? And then number 3, some pages have numbered steps and some do not. Why did the author organize the text this way? Why did the author organize things with numbers and things without? The things with numbers, you need to do it in that order in order to do the experiment correctly, right? The things without numbers, you just need to make sure that you do. It doesn't matter what order you do it in. That is why. Okay, so that's basically it. That's all you're going to do for today for your writing. If you have any questions, let me know. I will see you later. Bye.